What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel. Now, today is officially 2021. We have kissed 2020 goodbye and the new year is here. And in the very first video of the new year, I want to talk about some of the key expectations that we have with stimulus packages. I want to talk about some of the big deadlines and big timelines that we need to look out for in the coming days and in the coming weeks. This is in regards to the EIDL program, the PPP program, and I also want to talk about whether or not we'll get that $2,000 stimulus check. So let's get started. So it is officially 2021. It is New Year's Day, and I spent my New Year's Eve watching a movie. I fell asleep at 11 o'clock. I was woken at midnight, and then I fell back asleep. So hopefully you had a much more exciting New Year's Eve than I did. But with this new year, there is a whole lot of things that are going to be happening in the next 30 to 60 days, and a lot of it is fairly positive for you. Now, before we dig into the exact stimulus package details, I would like to announce that I have released a Turo car sharing course. It is called the Turo Car Sharing Masterclass, and it is officially available for pre-order and kind of pre-sale starting today. Now, in this course, I have just dozens and dozens of modules and chapters walking you through the process of how I've turned car sharing into a six-figure semi-passive side hustle. I walk you through the process of how to set up your Turo account, how to deal with guests, how to deal with insurance, how to buy your cars at the right price. It literally takes you through the entire process from step 1 to step 100. And it will take you through the entire process of what you need to know if you want to turn Turo into a six-figure side hustle as well. So if you're interested in checking out Turo, if you've wanted to learn about Turo, if you have questions about Turo, or if you're simply wondering how the heck I've been able to turn it into a profitable side business, then this is the course for you. Course content is going live on February 1st, and for the entire month of January, it is available for pre-sale at a 50% discount. So I will include a link to that down in the description below. I will also include a link to it in the pinned comment section as well. If you're interested in checking that out, you have the entire month to get it at a discounted rate. Now, let's dig into stimulus packages because it is the new year. We are very close to getting a new president. We have a slew of programs that have been funded and are being re-implemented in the new year. And to be quite honest, there's a lot going on. So I want to touch on some of these key things that you need to remember. So number one is stimulus checks. Now, as you guys know, stimulus checks were passed in this $900 billion stimulus package that was just passed last month. And as of right now, there are $600 stimulus checks being distributed as we speak. Now, I know a handful of people that have already received their stimulus check. In fact, there have been probably a few dozen of you that have commented on my videos telling me that you have received your check, which is awesome. But there is still discussions of a $2,000 stimulus check. And there is a lot of debate going on in the Senate on whether or not we will receive a $2,000 check. But even with this $600 stimulus check becoming a reality, there is still a lot of discussions on a $2,000 stimulus check. And as we see here today on January 1st, discussions are quite heated on whether or not we will receive a $2,000 stimulus check. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't think that there's a question of if we will receive a $2,000 stimulus check. I think it's a matter of when. There is going to be a pretty significant political shift come this month. I mean, we have a new Senate coming in, a new House coming in. We have the Georgia runoff, which will be a huge deciding factor in the Senate. We also have a new president coming in at the end of January. As you guys may or may not know, the first 100 days of a presidency are traditionally considered very symbolic to set the tone of the entire presidency as a whole, at least the first term. So because of that, I think that President-elect Joe Biden will put a heavy emphasis on getting a ton done in that first 100 days. I mean, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of how you feel of the shift in presidency, I do think that this will be the case. And I think that with that, we will see a huge push in COVID relief. And I think that we will see a huge shift in getting COVID relief to the people in a dramatic way in that first 100 days of his presidency. Additionally, the Georgia runoff election will be a huge deciding factor on whether or not we will see additional direct payments in the form of stimulus checks. Because as of right now, this $2,000 stimulus kind of revision has passed with flying colors in the House, in the Democrat majority-led House. And it's really in the Senate where this is kind of hitting hitting some snags and hitting some issues. Now, there are a number of Republican senators that are for this $2,000 stimulus check, but one key senator specifically is kind of holding it up, and that is Mitch McConnell. But the thing about the Senate is we do have the Georgia runoff election, which is quickly approaching. In just a few days, we'll know the results of that, and that will be a huge deciding factor on the future of the Senate and where the Senate stands, and thus the results of future bills being passed. In fact, there is a lot of speculation that this $2,000 stimulus check will be a huge deciding factor of just voter turnout in general. That there's a lot of people in the state of Georgia that are heated on this $2,000 stimulus check discussion, and people who may have once not turned out for a runoff election are now turning out and voting because they want to see the results in their favor for this $2,000 stimulus check. So I think that there is going to be a lot that is happening just from like a political standpoint in the coming weeks that will dictate how we see stimulus checks and how we see COVID relief moving forward, paired with the Georgia runoff, with the fact that soon new lawmakers will be taking office in both the Senate and the House, as well as a new president and a new vice president. All three of these things and more will really dictate COVID relief moving forward. And in my opinion, it really isn't a matter of if we are going to get more stimulus relief. It's just a matter of when we are going to get it and what exactly it's going to look like. That's my theory. I think that we will see a lot of headway in this first quarter, and I think it's really going to be fueled by new lawmakers taking office. So that's my thoughts on stimulus checks specifically, is that it's not a matter of if we're going to receive more funds other than the $600 that has already been passed. It is simply a matter of when, whether it's later in January, whether it's in February. I think that we will see something coming in the first quarter of 2021. That's just my prediction. Now, as far as EIDL and PPP goes, now, as you guys know, with this $900 billion stimulus package, the EIDL program and the PPP have received more funding. Both of these programs have different guidelines and requirements outlined with them than they did the first time around. So you will have to meet a series of different criteria in order to be eligible for both the EIDL and the PPP. Now, I would say the biggest and most significant changes of both of these programs is, number one, the PPP is having a simplified one-form forgiveness application for anybody that borrowed less than $150,000. This is incredibly substantial because of the fact that whenever the CARES Act was first passed, the forgiveness application, the forgiveness process, was a pain point for a lot of small business owners because there was a lot of concern that they wouldn't apply for forgiveness correctly, they wouldn't follow the terms and the conditions of the PPP correctly, and thus they would have to pay the loan back. So the fact that this is now a one-page easy file form, it is a really good sign. Now, as far as the exact guidelines on the PPP regarding this one-page form, regarding new applicants for the PPP funds and the PPP loan, regarding all of these different details, this is yet to be determined by the SBA, and we are waiting for more guidance from the SBA on what this exactly is going to look like and how this process is exactly going to work moving forward. So as of right now, there's a lot of pieces missing from the PPP puzzle. And the same really goes with the EIDL program as well. We are still waiting for a lot of information from the SBA regarding the EIDL program, how the application process is going to work, how receiving the full $10,000 is going to work, who can receive the full $10,000 and what exact circumstances, and what exactly the process is going to look like for people that are applying for the loan and the cash advance. Now, we do know with the EIDL program, you have to show a 30% gross revenue decline. You have to come from a low-income community. You have to show that you had a business as of January 31st, 2020. These are just a few of the different requirements outlined for the EIDL program specifically. Now, I do have some good news as far as that front goes, determining whether you are or are not eligible for the EIDL program. Recently, a group that I've been in contact with throughout the year, they had reached out to me and told me that they are developing an app, a free application online to help you decide whether or not you're eligible for the EIDL program based on your gross revenue as well as the location that you live in. So that app, as of right now, is live. I'm waiting to get a link from them so that I can give it to you guys. That way you can use the app and determine whether or not you are eligible for the EIDL program. So if you're interested in learning some more information on that, I will be doing a walkthrough on the app, and I will be giving you guys the link to that app once I receive it myself. So make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss that, because I think that that tool will be absolutely crucial in helping you decide whether you are or are not eligible for the EIDL program. But really, with both the EIDL and the PPP, we are waiting for more information from the SBA. There's a lot that still needs to be determined, but we will be finding that out within the next week or so. So stay tuned for that, because the guidance that will be released from the SBA will really be a huge deciding factor in determining exactly how this process is going to work moving forward. And lastly, there is a lot of extensions to a lot of government programs that were set to end yesterday on December 31st. Unemployment has been extended and was given an additional $300 weekly unemployment boost. The eviction ban has been extended to January 31st, and there is $25 billion being allocated to rental assistance programs. There is $8 billion going to the distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine. There is $15 billion being allocated to businesses like museums, live event venues, and movie theaters. These are businesses that have really substantially been hit by COVID and probably won't return to normal for quite a long time. So there is money being allocated specifically to them and to efforts in helping them stay open. And there's $82 billion being allocated to education, K through 12 resources, as well as $23 billion going to higher education. All in all, these are just a few of the government programs that have received additional funding because of this $900 billion stimulus package. We are officially in 2021, and some of these programs will continue through January, some will continue through Q1, some will even continue through the end of the year. But I think that lawmakers will definitely be gauging which ones need to be expanded on, which ones need to be extended as time goes on, and once we can kind of evaluate how the COVID vaccine has affected the U.S. economy, the U.S. death rate, the U.S. jobs market, and all those sorts of things. So I think that there's a whole lot that's still up in the air. But ultimately, again, I think that the month of January will be a really intensely productive and eventful month as far as stimulus content goes. We have January 15th is the deadline that the IRS has to send out stimulus checks. We have the $2,000 stimulus check that's being negotiated on. We have the $600 stimulus check that is currently being distributed. We have the EIDL program, which will have guidelines and parameters outlined in the next week. The same goes for the PPP. Both of these programs will start releasing funds this month as well. We have new lawmakers coming into office in the next few weeks. There is a lot going on. There's so much happening, and there is so much to cover. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the SBA has to say about the EIDL and the PPP program. So if you guys are interested in staying up to date on all things stimulus content, then make sure to subscribe, because I will be covering that as soon as the guidelines are released. With that being said, if you have anything to add, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. Make sure to check out my car sharing masterclass, which is on sale for the entire month of January. It is linked down in the description below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.